Hello grade 7. I hope that everything is okay and you are safe at home. Okay, let's complete our lesson where in last session you learned what is the difference between solution, colloid and suspension, and today let's speak about a new title, which is properties of matter. Let's think together. If you have a piece of wood and some iron nails, and I ask you which one of them can conduct electricity. If you put it in the electricity, it will pass the electric current. Of course, directly you will tell me that the iron nails will conduct electricity, where the piece of wood can't. Okay, if I get another piece of wood, will it conduct electricity? Of course it can't. If I get another piece of iron, will it conduct electricity? Yes, of course. So I can say that conductivity is a fixed character or a fixed property for the matter. As you see here, the glass can't, yes, conduct electricity, where the wood can't conduct electricity, where the piece of iron can conduct electricity. If I get another piece of glass, will it conduct electricity? Of course it can't, because it is a fixed character, it's a fixed property for the glass, for the wood, and so on. So number one, or the first concept, is conductivity. What will happen if you have a piece of cork, piece of wood, and piece of iron? You put them together in the water. Which one of them float and which one of them sink, and why? Okay, of course you will tell me directly that the cork and wood will float, where the piece of iron will sink. Okay, if I get another piece of cork, will it sink? Of course not, it can't. What about the wood? Of course it will float. What about a very big piece of wood? Also it will float. So this property, which is called density, again it's called density, this is another fixed property for the matter. Okay, what makes these liquids can't mix together? One in the upper part, then down, then down, then down, and so on. What makes these liquids can't mix together, where the lighter liquids float into another one? Because of this property, which is called density. What about if you have some of water, put them on the fire, and then put the thermometer? Okay, which temperature the water start to boil? Who can tell me? Is it 70 degrees Celsius? Of course no. Why? Because the boiling point of water is fixed, which is 100 degrees Celsius. If I have a lot of water, more amount of water, what about the temperature where it start to boil? Also 100 degrees Celsius. So the water boiling point doesn't change, so this is a fixed point or a fixed property. What about if I have a thermometer and put it on the ice to start to melt? Which temperature the ice start to melt on? This is 0 degree Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is called melting point of the ice. Can it change? Can it be, for example, 20 degrees Celsius? No, it's fixed. So melting point is a fixed property. What about the mass of the object? What's meant by mass? Of course, it is the amount of matter in the object. What about this ball? It has a fixed mass. What about this watermelon? Also, it has a fixed mass. So the mass is another fixed property for the matter. But what about the weight? The weight is the force by which the apple is attracted to the earth. So also this is a character for or by which the earth attracts this apple. Okay. What about the volume? The volume is another property for the matter. Okay, so now we are speaking about properties for the matter which are called physical properties. What are the physical properties of the matter? They are properties that you can observe with your eyes, with your ears, with your nose, with your finger, with your tongue. So these properties or the characters of the matter that can be observed or be measured, like the boiling and melting point, and also the volume, which can be measured by the ruler, by the mass, for example, which can be measured by the two pen balance, are called physical properties. So again, what are physical properties? They are any characteristic that can be observed with your five senses or be measured without changing the identity of this object. What is meant by these words? After touching the gold, what about its color? It is yellow. What about after touching the gold? It is still yellow. So simply physical properties, they are properties of the matter that cannot be changed, like your fingerprint. Your fingerprint cannot be changed. So like the physical properties of the matter, if you have a piece of iron, it will still sinking in the water. It will still conducting electricity. It will still conducting the heat, and so on. So the physical properties, they are properties that, number one, can be measured or can be observed by our five senses. Okay. For example, the physical properties like that, as we said, mass, weight, volume, density, electrical conductivity, boiling point, then melting point, transmission of light, a lot of physical properties for the matter. Okay, let's speak about, or let's remember together mass. What about mass? It is the amount of matter in the object, as you learned before. The weight, as we said, the earth has gravity. The measurement of the force by which the earth's gravity attracts you, this is called your weight. By the way, the force is measured by Newton, related to the scientist Isaac Newton. So the mass is the amount of matter, but the weight, they are completely different. The weight is the measure of the force. The mass is measured by kilogram or gram. But what about the weight is measured by Newton, because it is force, kind of force. Okay, the mass doesn't change anywhere by changing the planet. If you are on the moon, your mass still constant. But if you are on the moon, your weight will decrease, because the force by which the moon attracts your body will decrease, because the force of gravity of the moon is smaller than that of Earth. Okay, what about the volume? The volume is the size or the space taken by the object. What about the density? As we said, it is the property that helps us to understand which subjects or which materials float and which materials sink in the water. Okay, but practically, how can we measure the density? By measuring its mass, then measuring its volume, like this. So the density of, if you want to calculate the density, you have to get the mass over volume. Okay, the mass, its measuring unit is gram. The volume, its measuring unit is cubic centimeter. So the measuring unit of density, gram per cubic centimeter. For example, if you have some water with volume equal 10 cubic centimeter. Again, if you have some water with volume equal 10 cubic centimeter and mass equal 10 gram. So what about its density? It will be 10 over 10 equal 1 gram per cubic centimeter. I will ask, the density of the water can change? You will answer. Okay. Number 5, electrical conductivity. What's meant by electrical conductivity? It is the ability or the ability of the material to allow electric current. Like, can you remember the iron, nails, and the piece of wood? Which one of them has this ability? Yes, the iron nails have the ability to conduct electricity, but what about the wood? It has no ability to conduct electricity. Okay, the last one is boiling point. Let's remember the water during its boiling, the boiling process. Okay, and we said that temperature at which the substance changes from liquid to gas, this is called boiling point. For the water, its boiling point equal 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we have finished our physical properties. So again, any matter around you, if you want to understand its properties or describe its properties, you have to use physical properties, or the second one is chemical property or chemical properties. From its name and your informations about the chemistry is the chemical reactions, right? So the same here, chemical property is the property of the matter that describes the substance's ability to share, to participate, to react with another one. Simply like rusting. If you have the iron nail, can you remember the iron nails? Yes, it's colored like this. After 1 month, 2 months, and so on, it will change to be brown, rich brown. Why? Because it reacted with the oxygen in the atmosphere in the presence of water vapor to produce new substance. Is it not iron? Yes, it changed it to be another substance. So the chemical reaction must produce new substance. This is iron, but it is not iron. This is not iron. What is this? This is called iron oxide, because here this is just iron, but what about here? This is iron reacted with oxygen. So here this is iron oxide after their reaction. So from the chemical properties of the iron, that it reacts with oxygen after long time. But what about this word flammability? Means if you burn a piece of paper, what's happening? It will burn rapidly or slowly, rapidly, okay, and produce flame. Flame means something like the light. So flammability means rapid reaction with oxygen, because or producing fire and heat. So they are from two properties of the chemical properties of the matter. What else? If I have some milk and put a cup of yogurt, what's happening to the milk? Yes, who can tell me? After a few hours it will change into yogurt. What is happening? Yes, excellent, chemical reaction. Another example, after eating food. What's happening for the food? It's still inside your stomach. Food like the piece of cake, for example, no, it will change into another substances. It will change into digested food. So it is the same substance, or it is the same material that you eat. No, it changed into another substance. So digestion process is a kind of chemical reaction, and so on. Thanks, grade 7. I'm waiting for your questions.